Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah.
Hey Vivas, welcome to another episode of Viva Aaliyah. We are very, very, very excited for today's episode. I have a sister on again, and you know when I have my girls on, my friends on, we get to chatting and we have a good old time. Y'all love it. She is a Jersey friend, so from across the river from me, and I wore my Jersey hair today for her. She's also into hats of sorts, and you'll understand what I mean by that here in just a second. She has blown up, y'all, on TikTok, and I'm actually checking the numbers again, but from as of today, she has 241.6 thousand followers on TikTok, and she is a representative of drag in her own way, and I love that. So without further ado, I want to bring on the gorgeous, talented, beautiful, always hatted Miss Lady Celestina. Hey, boo.
Hi.
How are you? How's it going? Can you hear me?
There's a weird sound issue happening right now.
Oh, there's a weird sound issue.
You sound like slowed down and like really low.
Oh, can you hear me now?
This is going so well.
No, okay. We've had technical issues before.
All right, give me one moment. I'm gonna try and I can figure that out real quick. All right, just do 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 do. All right, let's try now.
How about now? Are we working now? Dominic, maybe we can play a commercial really quick, and we'll start with a commercial.
You still sound like you hit puberty.
Oh, this is fine.
Already. That's okay. Celestina,
it literally was just fine 2 seconds ago. Do I sound fine?
You sound great.
You're fine. Give us just one moment, Celestina. I'm going to play a commercial, and while we're doing that, Aaliyah, if you could exit and re-enter the studio. All righty, so we'll be right back, everyone. Give us just a moment here.
Viva Aaliyah is proudly sponsored by Fierce Drag Jewels. For all of your sparkly needs, check out their Facebook and Instagram, or check them out on their website, www.fiercedragjewels.com. Viva Aaliyah is proudly sponsored by Big Girl Nails by Coco. Claw your way to the top with the nails for the stars. All right, can you hear me now? How are we?
Oh no. Is it on my end? Hold on. Does that make...
Can you hear me?
Speak?
Can you hear me? I'm here.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, it still sounded crazy.
1 second. Okay. I'm really...
Celestina, can you hear me? This is Dominic.
Okay. Weird.
Ooh.
Can you hear me now? Interesting. Can you hear Dominic?
No, you still sound like a monster.
Dominic, can you see if she can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
There we go. We'll always figure it out. All right. So let's talk about next week. Since we usually do this at the end, we're talking about it now. Next week, I am going to be in Florida competing for Miss Sawmill. My friend Dee Dee Taylor or Justin Pamplin runs that pageant, and I will be competing down at the gay campground of Miss Sawmill. So we will be doing another episode of Viva Entertainers, and I believe we fixed our sound issue, right? Wonderful.
Yes, I can hear you again.
So let's start. We just started our show. Welcome, Lady Celestina. Yes.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
All right. When you have a show that is run solely on social media, there's always a chance that technical issues come up. And thankfully, our audience is sticking with us. Dominic and I can see the numbers. So I'm actually going to blow up my screen so I can see your beautiful face a little bit more. There we go. And babe, how are you? What's going on? How are things in?
I'm here in Asbury. I'm living my life. We're hanging out. You're catching me between gigs, which is what a feat.
So you just finished a gig and you have another one tonight?
Yes.
Work. Good for you.
I got a nice little hour nap before having to jump into this. It was great. Everything timed out perfectly.
So you are before we jump into the questions, you have something in your glass, I'm hoping. So let's talk about that. What are we drinking? What's going on?
A nice little white wine.
We're both wining out tonight. Absolutely. So cheers to you, dear.
Cheers to you, darling. Clink.
I like that glass, that purple.
Oh, it's like a super old, cheap glass.
Old and cheap. That's me.
Old cheap. Right, exactly. I figured I'd break it out for you. You know, it just felt natural.
I got my jersey here for you. You brought out your old and cheap glass for me. Thank you. Look at here.
Yes.
So I'm very interested in knowing this. You and I have entertained together. We've been at shows together. We've judged pageants, competitions, I should say, of sorts together. We've kept in contact. We know each other. Thing I don't know is what got you started in drag. Who is like? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a drag mother? What started this beautiful creature?
You know, I don't think anyone chooses to do this. I think we all end up doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's either like the queen that's like out and they're like, ooh, I want to do drag at like a Halloween thing, right? Or it's like the theater people who like weaponize the BFA, you know, things like that. But so I kind of have like two different half starts. So the very first time I ever kind of got in something that was drag was at this event, and Red Rum painted me. Do you know Red Rum? Red Rum.
Yes.
And so she painted me with the help of our other sister, Kinsey Spectrum, and for like a drag 101 class that was at Project Real. And then the other time that I kind of note is I walked a ball at my friend's college and I got all kind of done up in kind of a format that like I felt most myself in. Because when I got put in drag for the first time, like I had the wig and everything, and like I didn't really feel like me. They glued down my brows, all that great stuff. I didn't really feel like me. But that was kind of my first introduction to experiencing drag. But then when I walked in the ball, that was kind of the first time that I was just like, oh, okay, this feels much more natural for me, you know?
So there's like other aspects of drag in
Yeah. Like it helped kind of broaden my mind as far as like I can do these things and I could not like wear the wigs, I could not do the brows, I could not do X, Y, and Z and still like look good and be impressive, you know? And so I And so I had that. But like over the years, you know, I've been doing this for 7 years. Um, like I don't have a drag mother, but I have a lot of people that have helped me through it. You know, Lady Marissa, Verona De Mornay, Nikki Sky Blake, Harmonica Sunbeam. You know, Red Rum is still my best friend and closest sister. And then you kind of like pick up things throughout, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of being out and about and at the gigs, talking to other people. You just kind of pick things up as you go.
Yeah, I've always said in drag, if you feel like you have nothing to learn or you can't pick something up from somebody, it's time to like throw the towel over the shower and just like start washing it off.
Right.
You're done.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just those girls that are like, you can't teach me anything, and I'm like, well then, maybe I can't, but this girl next to you might be able to, or you might teach me something, or like, I mean, I actually am very inspired by you. I think what you do and how you do it, and the fact that you're creative in your own process inspires me. I mean, I watch your TikToks, and I'm a garment girl. I love garments, and you have a lot of like very bold and colorful garments, and those speak to me. I am not a girl who like, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was like the first one. That was like the first big one.
That reminds me of the show Once on This Island.
That's exactly what it was from.
Ah!
I saw the show. I had always loved that show. I saw the show on Broadway, and like obviously fell in love with Alex Newell in the part and that costume. And I went, I need to do something like this. I was like, this is incredible. You know, I was like, it just was, even though it was like, because conceptually in the show, for all of you who don't know, like the Alex Newell plays the goddess of the earth, and but of course, like the whole show is used with like found objects. So he takes like basically what's like an outdoor tablecloth and like wraps it around themselves and suddenly it's a skirt, you know, and they're all wearing this like Falcons jersey. And so I knew that I really wanted to do it. But the hardest thing that I knew I wanted was to find that fabric for the skirt. And I had the hardest time finding it. And then, because I was like, I don't even know what material it was. And then one day I looked up, I was like, what is outdoor tablecloth? And it's made of this thing called like oilcloth. And so it's like kind of like a vinyl, right? And so I was like, oh, amazing. So that literally typed that in, floral, yellow, oilcloth, and it was like the first thing that popped up. And I went, oh my God, incredible. Bought an entire bolt of it. So like 12 to 15 yards of it. And then made that skirt by the sheer grace of God and help, because I never worked with vinyl before. And so it's like kind of glued, kind of pinned, kind of wrapped around. It was a whole crazy thing. And then everything else was the easy bit, you know, because I found a fan that was like the fan they had in the show. The Falcons jersey was really easy to find, and I customized it because on the back it says I forget the name, but it's the Caribbean like Earth goddess or something like that.
Asaka?
Not Asaka, but it had a different name.
Okay.
And so I like customized the crap out of this thing, even the earrings and everything. Like I went full hard, and that was the most that I've ever done for an outfit since, because that fabric is a nightmare to use, and I was like, I'm not doing that again.
If it doesn't stretch, I'm not typically sewing with it, so good for you. The best thing I've done is like a crop jacket with non-stretch material, and that's because if it fucks up, then I can like cover it in stones or beads or whatever I need to. And
right, yeah, So I wore that thing a lot because I like did that number I did that Mama Will Provide number all the time. And then I just kind of like hung it up in the closet, and I have like a whole bunch of other outfits that I have, and I just haven't broken out since. I think I maybe broken out maybe once since then. So I like after that year, but I don't remember. You know how that is. Like you get new things, old things get shoved to the back of the closet, and
even if you
never
love
wear it again,
you're like, wait, I have something I kind of remember. No, this one. and you see it, and then it just sits back there for a while, you know, and then you break it
Yep.
out, and it's like a moment for you. You're like, oh my god, I love this one when you do get
Yeah.
to break it out. So yeah.
See, I don't have that moment with that dress because, like I said, oilcloth is like a really sturdy, like durable material. And so the only time I choose to wear it is usually during the summer. And if that's the case, I have to let it sit outside. Like I have to when I get up that morning for that gig that night, I have to take it out of the closet and like leave it outside until I'm leaving because the heat will loosen it and so it kind of moves a little bit nicer. But
that makes
otherwise,
sense.
it's like a stiff and loud fabric to move around in.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be. Yeah, I can't imagine wearing tablecloth fabric, but girl, you would make an unconventional challenge there any day.
Well, listen, I'm into it. I'm wearing a bed sheet now.
Yeah.
Presently.
Speaking
I
of-
did not make this. The last thing I think I probably made myself was that Once on this Island outfit. All outfits after that point were made by other people. That was when I was just like, I can't do this.
I mean, I think you have an eye for things that we all have an eye for things that that we don't think we do. But I believe that if you were to sit down, you're a creative bitch. Like if you were to sit down and like work on it, I think it would come to you. But you have this. You do have a little bit different style of drag. I think your garments are like they're more colorful than a lot of people. They have a lot more embellishment than a lot of folks. And you're not like just rhinestoning something. You're embellishing garments, and you have you have this like you have this eye for putting things on in a way that really works for you and really works for your style of drag. Would you label your drag as anything specific? Do you have like a category that you put yourself in? And do you, is there a classification for Lady Celestina?
I don't know. Because here's the thing is that like, I feel like some of the things I have can be very campy, but I myself don't view it as camp. You know, in my head, the way that I kind of describe my fashion is like if Cirque du Soleil made a Disney villain.
Okay.
You know, because you see some of those Cirque du Soleil costumes, and they're really kind of like big and like almost like avant-garde, but also still very fashion without kind of hitting the realm of like camp. There's like a slight camp, but not like heavy camp, if that made any sort of sense.
No, it makes sense. Just from me to you, when I look at your drag, I say Club Kid Beauty Queen is what I would call you.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well.
Because you have elements of like Club Kid, but it's so refined that it's and your paint is so beauty that it's not necessarily like you're not painting like the club. You're not putting like a million googly eyes on your face. Not everything.
It's very conceptual at times, you know. Especially like when you look at my Christmas looks. You know, my Christmas look this every year when I do a Christmas look, I always like try to like pick an item and like a holiday themed item, and then like I make an entire outfit out of that. I work with designers to make an entire outfit out of that. So the first year I did a Christmas tree. So we ended up doing this like cute little green short dress with all these like ruffles, and then on the hat it had a star that lit up. I had and then
for that look, did you work with black and white stripe?
Yep.
I thought so. Okay. I was like,
her signature ruffle neoprene, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
And then the next year I did candy cane, which I had this beautiful candy cane coat on, with all these like candy canes in the hat. And then this past year was like my most ambitious endeavor with a Christmas look, because I really had this idea of like a Christmas wreath, you know, still kind of this big green collar that looked like a wreath. Yep, there it is.
Ooh.
And then so me and the designer worked kind of tirelessly to put that together. And there's a lot of like conversations back and forth about like finessing how I want it, but you could even see it like in the sleeves. You know, I think originally he wanted it to be because this was designed by Beck Jones, the incredible Beck Jones. And he originally wanted the whole thing to be green, but I wanted the contrast of the red dress and the green, just so you could really see that it's a wreath, you know? You could
Yeah.
really like get that visual. And then what you kind of can't see in that photo is that the whole red dress is a custom textile. So he hand painted that entire dress
Wow.
because we were looking to get a red plaid, like a red and white plaid, but couldn't find like it in the right material or the right size, or the color looked weird or whatever. So he just said screw it, and he hand painted the whole thing itself. But he's known for kind of doing custom textiles. First thing I ever did with him was this like big red and white and black and white polka dot moment, and that he did all the custom dots on that as well. He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible.
You put that photo up again. You're in Times Square in this, right?
That's right outside Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
That is at about like somewhere between 7 and 8 in the morning, in the freezing colds, early December, right after I got off the ice at the rink at Rockefeller Center, because I had gotten permission to shoot on the ice.
Stop.
And yeah, and so that was a whole journey that day. I was so tired.
Does one get permission to shoot on Rockefeller Center's ice?
You ask.
Okay.
Like that's like the craziest thing, you know. Like I tell people that all the time because like especially with that, people saw the photos of me on the ice and they're like, how in the hell do you do something like that? Like, who do you know? Who did you talk to? And like, I swear to God, all I did was go to the Rockefeller website, and like they have a section for like questions, and you could select kind of what kind of question you're asking. And so I like selected photo video, and then just wrote out a thing and like a little blurb about myself and what I want to do and when I want to do it, and sent it into the ether. And I got an email back like the next day, basically saying like, hey, yeah, I actually asked big. I want to do inside the Radio City lobby and on the rink. And they were like, we'll give you the rink. And I was like, I will take what I can get.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
The worst answer you can hear when you ask a question is no.
It's
right?
no. Yeah. So like, why not ask?
I think people forget that quite a bit. That like, that's the worst. That's literally the worst of it.
Yeah.
So just do it. I also want to, the photo that was up of you in front of Radio City Music Hall, the funniest thing to me about that photo, you look stunning, by the way, but the funniest thing about that photo is the true style of it, and how not one person that is walking by you is paying you any mind. Like,
no.
Just like, yes, there's another bitch in a dress modeling down Fifth Avenue. Like, that's literally what they're doing.
And it's kind of funny because it's like really just like the difference between a block, you know, because like Rockefeller Center really is like across the street and like at the corner of Radio City. And so like, and I was crossing the street there. And so it's just so funny that it's like between me being on the ice and having all of these people like skating around me, taking photos, videos, stopping me to take photos, taking videos with them, doing whatever, like getting social media, all that stuff, you know, to then like me walking to the sidewalk and just people just couldn't be bothered. I think it was like a Tuesday morning too. So it was like, so which I think even made it worse, that it was just like people were like, of course this is happening on a Tuesday.
Of course.
I'm just trying to get to work. I'm trying to get to the gym, whatever. And just, yeah. But then there were definitely several people that did come up to me to stop and take some photos. And it always was fun because it was like, because I had a team of people that day, because it was me, the designer, an assistant that I had, the photographer, and the photographer's assistant. And so it was just kind of like very funny, because then even like NYPD were like stopping to be like, can I get a photo with you?
I will say the thing about New Yorkers is, because we're so immersed in this, like, you know, CSI is filmed everywhere, and like all of these other shows are filmed.
Yeah.
Your streets are shut down, parking is shut down for all of this. We're typically folks that are like, well, at least I'll ask afterwards, or like I'll be on the side. I realize my place in this, and I'll be on the side snapping a photo of you. And if I am crossing, I'm just gonna mind my own damn business. Like,
Right.
This is not my moment. It's this person's moment. So obviously, there's people that like either just moved here or are just assholes and like are trying to steal the spotlight. But for the majority of it, people are pretty good about when something's filming or when something is being shot.
And of course, like when you're in, right, everyone was very good that when like the camera was out, like they were very good about kind of staying to the sides until the camera was like being looked at, then they'd run up, you know? And it also makes it interesting because especially in that location, being in Midtown around in December when like all the Christmas things are happening, right? That also adds a layer of amusement as well.
Yeah. Melissa from Tupelo, Mississippi wanted to get a photo with you and she really loved your look. This is not something she would normally see in her hometown. So yeah, that's pretty normal for us as well. But I do have a question for you, and that pulls us into our next question. I'm going to ask this, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll go into the like question that was scripted for us. But how many hats do you own?
Somewhere between 2 and 3 dozen.
1,000.
Dozen.
Oh,
2 or 3 dozen.
I was like, girl, I don't even own that many jewelry sets, and I'm like the jewelry girl. I have a closet that's top to bottom in jewelry, and I don't think I have that many. Okay, 2 or 3 dozen.
Hats in every single corner of this room right now. It's everywhere. It's crazy.
I mean, you are the hat queen. We're going to talk more about hats with Lady Celestina, but we're going to take a very quick break, and we will be right back after whatever message Dominic decides to put out. Hey Vivas! We've been together for 3 seasons and we're heading into season 4. I'm so grateful to have had you with me along this journey and I can't wait to see where we go next. If you'd like to get your own Viva Aaliyah merch to go along this journey with, you can go to www.aaliyahmartinezqueen.com to check out everything Viva Aaliyah. You can also find out what's going on with me and see who's on our next episode. Once again, I can't believe we've made it to season 4 and that you've been along on this journey with me. Keep those glasses full and don't forget to tell me what's in that glass. Yeah, don't forget to tell me what's in that glass. Did you get a Grindr notification while we were on break?
I did not, no.
Okay. Same. Also,
I wish I did.
That'd be awkward because my husband's in the room. Also,
listen, I'm not going to yuck on your yum. If that's what you and your husband do, that's okay.
That's true. Yeah. We're not shaming that for any other couple. All right. So on the hats, we started talking about the hats. I left everybody in suspense. Your fashions are bold. They are brazen. They have embellishment to them. What inspires your drag? Do you have a specific thing, or are there things that you just see? I mean, you do a lot of Christmas around the holidays. And what is the thought process behind hats instead of hair?
So as far as like me like going about my outfits, well, actually no, let's talk hats because I feel like it all kind of bleeds in together. So like when I originally started doing drag, I was originally using my boy hair. I had like really long boy hair at the time. And so I was like styling it and doing kind of all crazy things with it. Very kind of like Joey J-esque, you know? And then I had an outfit and then I had a top hat that went with the outfit. And I was like, let's just wear it. Let's do it. And then I wore it, went out. And then the next time I'd gone out of drag, someone was like, oh, you were the one with the top hat. And then that just kind of sealed the deal forever. And then I just kind of went, oh, that's a nice calling card. So then I just kind of kept doing the top hats. And so that kind of has bled into the style of all my outfits. If you look at really kind of all my outfits, I think my hats and my outfits are kind of very symbiotic in the sense that like you really can't, most of my outfits you can't really wear without the hat.
Right.
Because it just kind of looks strange, I think, or like disproportional of any kind. I'm really big, like you said, I'm really big around Christmas time and definitely around Pride. I'm really excited about Pride. I always have a very specific aesthetic for Pride, because I have two different Pride dresses. Both of them are white with a rainbow accent. For whatever reason, I like really wanted to make that my thing.
You really wanted
Um,
yourself around Pride with a white dress, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I said you really wanted to challenge yourself with a white dress at Pride because we are always getting queens are the first person to get a drink spilled on them or have somebody like vomit on our shoe or
Correct.
Like, yeah.
Correct. And so I had an outfit. The first outfit when I was like looking up, that was from Asbury Park Pride a couple years ago, and it has this like gorgeous rainbow petticoat. That one was made by Black and White Stripe, Pure Red of Victory. And then the other one that you showed was Beck, and the stripes on it are actually made out of an actual Pride flag, which was like kind of a cool thing because I was really specific about like I want to do Pride, but I don't want to do like over the top rainbow because I was like everyone does over the top rainbow. For my own design eye, I personally like am not as much of a fan of it. For me, it as me in it. Other people wearing it, I love, but I like to kind of go a little more simplistic around Pride,
I'm
and not kind of
underneath though is giving me it.
What?
Like everything together is beautiful, but that petticoat underneath and the fact that
Isn't it? And then when you see that thing twirl, oh, it's stunning. It's like a kaleidoscope when it twirls. It looks so cool. And yeah, I love that dress. And it like sits with the Christmas looks, in the closet, in that one corner of the closet that I'm like, only for special occasions do I take out these clothes. But mostly everything else, like I kind of go to designers and I kind of have an idea and I have a concept of something, sometimes I'm just like, I need something new. Sometimes I like in this situation, I had an event and I was like, I need a new outfit. I don't have fabric and I need a kind of a quick turnaround, but I have all of these bed sheets. Can you do something? And Pioretta was like, yeah, absolutely. So I dropped off the bed sheets to her. And what I love about her design of this is that like it has this kind of like off the shoulder sleeve moment and like cape little moment. And she kept that kind of lip of the bed.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you can see that kind of like lip that to pull it up to you. And so I love it so much. But then this one was kind of based off a dress I'd found on that was originally designed by the fashion runway designer Guo Pei. And then I don't typically do a whole lot of recreations. I do a lot of things inspired by Beck Jones, and I have kind of become like the best team, so he really understands kind of the Celestina vision, and him and I align a lot in design. And so a lot of times like I'll just kind of go to him and be like, let's do something. And then he already has like 4 or 5 sketches that he's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then sometimes we combine things or cut things, and it just becomes, I think, a little more playful for the two of us to kind of finesse exactly what we're looking for and what kind of makes us both happy. Because I love, just like you said, like I love bold colors. I don't want to blend in or stand out. My look's definitely kind of borderline costumey at times. I would never consider myself as kind of like the fashion queen, right? But I definitely would say that I am a look queen, a look based queen. And so there's a lot of things that just, sometimes even I'll start with the hat, that was a gorgeous dress made by Mimi Sashimi, which I'm obsessed with, this gorgeous ball gown.
Stunning.
And so sometimes like I start with like the concept, other times I'll start with a hat, or like sometimes I just like know what I want to do with a hat. Like if I know I want to completely rhinestone a hat, this hat is completely rhinestoned with like black rhinestones. And then I just kind of build off that. Some other times, like I have a yellow one. I have 2 top hats stacked on top of each other, which is its own moment. And
are the feathers interchangeable?
No.
So these are literally like they go with
A hat per outfit, yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yes, which makes storing them really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like some of the hats are a little more easy to stack than others. It just kind of depends on which one I end up using or making or whatever. Because these are definitely like a cheaper quality top hat versus like some of my other ones that are made from this company in LA. And so they do a lot of different kinds of hats, but top hats are one of the things that they sell probably mostly for like film and TV and stuff for anyone who needs to like do any sort of period thing with a top hat.
I mean, if there's anybody more film and TV, it's a drag queen. Like we are
Hello.
film and TV. We put on the make. Wow.
Oh, yeah, there's the double stacked. Yeah.
Is the same person that shot this the person that shot the white?
Yep.
Who can I ask who that was?
That was all Courtney Charles.
Courtney Charles.
He's best known for his skin series that he does, which is just a bunch of men in just underwear and all like oiled up, but like the photography's fierce. And like he like really loves to celebrate like different body types and stuff, and so he does a really beautiful job at showcasing all of that. Instead of just like being kind of like pigeonholed, like some photographers where they're only photographing like buff white guys or just like white twinks, or he like likes to showcase everybody because which I really admire.
That's amazing. Also the photography is stunning. Like the movement, the way that it's shot, the way that it's not blurred out. They clearly know what they're doing. And
he often most times when him and I have shot together, sometimes I'll go over there and he's like, I'm not in a great mood. I'm really tired. I'm not feeling it. And then the moment I break out like that white ball gown, he's just kind of like, oh my God, photos are going to be great. Because as soon as he gets that one good movement shot, he's like, I'm sold. I'm done. I'm ready.
I love that when a photographer is inspired by us because they've seen seen Queen, or they've seen Man, or they've seen a million models, and you walk in and they go, ooh, bitch, yes, I can't wait to shoot that, or like the makeup is fierce today, or any of that. It's inspiring. I forgot to ask you one thing when we were talking about you starting drag. The name, where did the name come from? Was that just like pulled it out of the air? Did you have an inspiration behind it?
So it's a nerdy Harry Potter reference. So I always knew that I wanted to have Lady in my name. I just because I think partly like I'm a big like fantasy fan, so Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all that stuff. And so I just kind of like that medieval lady title. And then Celestina is a nerdy Harry Potter reference. She's a character that's mentioned 3 times in the books, named Celestina Warbeck, who is a singing sorceress. And she like only kind of, she doesn't even really like appear as a character. She just is kind of mentioned as kind of like part of the world building. But I just love the name.
Thank you for sharing that. I honestly, my husband is a Potterhead as well, and I enjoy the movies. I am not. No, I do. I really enjoy the movies when they're on. He'll put them on when he's like, when I'm painting, and I'm like, sometimes I'll lower the music and listen, or like come out and watch a bit. And but that was not necessarily, and I know it's multi-generational, but that was not necessarily my generation. I'm a little older than that. The paint helps. The makeup helps with not looking older than that. But yeah, no, I think it's pretty common to have something inspired by kind of pop culture these days. I mean, obviously my first name was based on the singer Aaliyah, and then Martinez. I was literally like, what's the most Mexican name I can come up with? Because my original last name is not the most popular, which is Zamora, but when I was like Martinez, everybody knows Martinez. So Aaliyah Martinez, there we go, done. And we actually were sitting on a couch in my friend's living room when we found that. This is about you. So
Yeah, I was not one of those queens that like had my name picked out like days, months, years before I started doing it. Like it literally was like I was about to go on stage and they were like, "You need a name. What do I introduce you as?" And Lady Celestina was born.
you were like, this.
I was like, yeah.
So I mentioned this in your intro, but you have 241.6 thousand followers on TikTok. You have 241.6 thousand followers on TikTok. What has that experience been like? And when did, because there was one night I posted a video on TikTok and I was like, I think I'm going viral. Just kidding. I wasn't. But it is like it's kind of an overnight thing on TikTok. You can post one video, like, holy shit.
It's crazy. You know, I had joined TikTok about, I think maybe about a little over a year and a half ago now. And I was just kind of like figuring out what TikTok was, figuring out what kind of content I wanted to create on TikTok. The thing that I always gravitated to were transition videos, you know, so it was always kind of like boy me and then some sort of fun kind of transition with a wave of a hand or something. And then suddenly I was in the drag, you know, and people seemed to really like those. And I kind of kept building. And then a year ago, I was doing a series of videos that I posted over a week for the Lunar New Year. And so I did a bunch of videos that had audios from Over the Moon, audios from Mulan. I had a great video that involved me like taking a hand fan, I threw it in the air, and then the camera followed it. And when the camera came back down and I caught it, I was in like this like full gorgeous Chinese inspired outfit. And so like I was kind of building traction. And then at about March last year, about March last year, I was at about 9,000 followers. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to hit 10K this weekend. It was a Saturday. I remember it being a Saturday. And I posted this video, which was a trend at the time of my runway video, you know, where people were making these videos of what I would wear sitting front row at Zara or Calvin Klein or whatever, right?
I honestly thought you started that.
No, I had played off of a trend that had already been going on. But of course, because of my style and everything, I was just like, well, let's do like fictional places. And then I filmed it one night. I did not want to be in drag. I did not like my paint. I didn't like the lighting and the setup and everything. I had everything about this video hated everything about this video. And so I was just like, well, let me keep on trend. So let me post it. I post it. I was at work because at the time I was working at a restaurant. I hit 10K by the time I left work. And I was like, oh my God, amazing. We love this. And I even prepared to, like, I had a screenshot prepared for the next morning where I was going to kind of do a green screen video of like my profile behind me with like 10K and with the audio of Kamala Harris doing, "We did it, Joe. We did it." It was going to be cute. It was going to be fun. By the time I woke up Sunday morning, I had exceeded that. I was at like 40K by that point. Excuse me. And I was like, what's going on? What's happening? You know, when I had a couple 100,000 views on that video and people were just loving it. By the time I got to my gig that night, because I work at the Ritz on Sundays, Sunday nights with Octavia. And by the time I got to work that night, I had hit 80. And by that Tuesday, I hit 100. And I was like, this is the most insane thing I've ever witnessed in my life. I was having people that I loved following on TikTok like giving me a follow because they found it and they loved it. I there were like all these like verified profiles that had gotten this attention. People were reposting that video like all over the place on Snapchat and on Instagram, and and like that was kind of when brands started reaching out to me because of my platform and everything. And then back this past December, there was another trend on TikTok, where it was a sticker that was like, "What's your most viral video of 2021?" And I had no other content to post, and so I was like, "Let me just do this." And so I reposted the original video that went viral, and that one went viral again too. And so that one, and I didn't realize that because I posted it. That had more traction the second time because I had posted it around noon. I was seeing Company on Broadway that night with a friend, so I was kind of off my phone at work that day. And then when I drove up, and we were walking to the restaurant to have dinner before the show, and I opened up Instagram, and I had all of these notifications of likes and follows and comments and stuff. And I was like, either I've been canceled or I'm going viral. Two things are happening here. And I was like, and so I immediately pull up TikTok, and my video, by that point, by the time we sat down to dinner, I had hit, I'm pretty sure I had hit 100,000 views by the time I sat down at dinner. Which I was just like, oh my God, we're popping off again. This is insane. And then by the time I sat down at the theater, which was like 2-ish hours later, I had hit 1 million views. Like, TikTok is a wild platform, and like there are a lot of people that come up to me now wanting to know about TikTok because like I'm the closest person in proximity to them that has like done kind of okay. And so people are always like, well, what did you do? How did you do it? And I was just like, honestly, you just kind of post, and sometimes things happen. You have no idea. The algorithm's weird. Nobody knows how to work the algorithm. It's nothing like an Instagram algorithm. And if anything, like Instagram actually, because that was the other thing. So at some point in the past year, Instagram introduced Reels, which were basically TikToks, right?
Right.
And I repost all of my TikToks on my Reels, just kind of to make it a little bit more easy accessible, but just so I kind of have it everywhere, And then the same video that I of the What's Your Most Viral Video 2021 that I posted on TikTok, I reposted to Instagram on my Reels. And so after things kind of started to settle down on TikTok with with like all the follows and stuff, it got picked up on Instagram. And so Instagram, I never dealt with this. So that video on Instagram had hit like 1 million views or something like that, which I've never seen that number ever on Instagram. And so I was just like, holy crap. And then that's kind of what pushed me over the edge for my followers on Instagram as well. So like TikTok's a weird platform because I feel like it opens a lot of doors. Like it's similar to it's like YouTube, like what YouTube was back in the day, when there were all these vloggers on YouTube and there were all this kind of like queer coverage and all this stuff. And it opens a lot of doors, like there's a lot of great people now, like Brittany Broski, who like appears on all kinds of things. She got her start on TikTok.
Yeah.
She was, and that's kind of what set her off. And so she kind of has become one of the faces of TikTok, which is crazy. And so it kind of like does a lot of great things. I'm part of the creator fund. I'm part of the marketplace. I go live all the time. And so there's a lot of great ways to make money on TikTok. But it's also based largely off of, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that was going to be my next question for you. I'm not asking how much, but like, do they actually pay, and when do they pay?
Back in the day when they first introduced the creator fund, the ratio of what you needed, likes and views, engagement, all that stuff, to a dollar sign was a little bit, it was much bigger. That monetary exchange was a lot bigger. Nowadays, like it's a little difficult, because just the way that it operates, it's like, here's just a couple here's like a couple cents for your video that hit like 10,000 views, you know? So like that's also something to be mindful of. I think some people think, because back in the day, people were making bank on TikTok, but really where people are making bank is like the ad campaigns and all that stuff. And working with things like that. You know, I've had a couple ad campaigns because I'll never say no to a gig unless it's like a campaign that I just generally don't believe in ethically. But I've done a couple different campaigns, and it's interesting too, like on that side, you know, because no one knows how TikTok works
Nobody.
except kind of the people who have the most idea are the people like me who do TikTok a lot, you know? And so sometimes you'll get reached out by brands and they clearly have they think it's like like Instagram or something. You know, they're
Right.
like, "Oh, here's like we're willing to pay you based off of views." So it's like if you get 10,000 views, you'll make $100. You make 20,000 views, you'll make $200. But like you kind of also don't realize like what that like how that really translates. You know, because sometimes you make a video and it just doesn't do well.
Right.
You know, and if I don't hit 10K, then I get nothing. I basically gave you a free ad. You know, and so like as far as like marketing goes, I have my own. I've had to create my own like ranking of or not ranking my own fees and things that I require for a lot of things now.
Word. I mean, that's important. And
Yeah.
congratulations, by the way. I mean,
Thanks.
anybody who is successful needs to be congratulated in whatever way that they're successful at. Nobody should be able to take them, and your stuff is entertaining. It's great to look at. I mean, actually, everybody on that has watched the show knows I do a backstage afterwards with the guest. And if you're there, I actually have an idea for us, if you'd be willing.
Sure.
I will tell you, I am the old girl, and I thought my 5,500 followers were like big news. And then I was like, damn, these young girls, they have it.
Here's the thing. Here's also the other thing about it. You have to care about social media. You know, that's such a big thing in today's age when it comes to drag. You have to, because of Drag Race and everything, like you have to be on Instagram, you have to be on these platforms. You know, you have to create some kind of footprint for yourself. And you have to kind of care about it beyond posting like flyers all the time, posting like a couple photos, and then because then like when you look back at your, like if you scroll through your feed, you see that like 4 or 5 photos in a row were all like pics from the other night, like it just that also kind of doesn't like engage someone who's just discovering your page for the first time, you know. So it's like
I have noticed with Instagram, when I post a photo, yes, people are liking it, but the thing that gets me follows is my story, and they don't necessarily want you in your story. They want funny shit. They want things that they can relate to. Yes, they want a picture of you, and people are gonna love it, like it, and do whatever. But the thing that is gonna get you followed is like, what's intriguing me about this person? And I post some weird shit on my Instagram story. My husband is always like, "What did you do? What was this?" And I'm like, "It was funny to me. I'm a fucking weird person. Like, let me be me."
Right. You know, like and I think it kind of goes back to with TikTok, you know. I was like, Instagram, it's easy for anyone to kind of take a photo, write a cute caption for it, post it on Instagram, right? TikTok's a little harder because you kind of have to have a personality for it. Even if you don't talk in your videos, you have to show some sort of level of having a personality, which unfortunately, a lot of people in the world don't. And so like success based off that, and I think that's what makes it so much easier to get engaged with people on Instagram or on TikTok, is they see your personality firsthand, you know, and they go, "Oh, I like you. I like your vibe. I like what you offer. I like the energy you're bringing," you know, even in like, you know, sometimes people might be on the fence when they see a video of mine, but then they'll pop into a live that I'm doing on TikTok and be like, "Oh, this is a great time." And then they give me the follow. But also people unfollow you for the most wacky reasons too. So I try not. That's also the secret is like don't get crazy with the numbers, because once you get crazy with the numbers, it definitely causes a detriment to your mental health.
Yeah, our world is definitely in cancel culture, like hyper speed. But
Yep.
you've done an amazing job, and just like
Thanks.
congratulations on all of your success. So my last question for you is, what is next for Lady Celestina? Where can we see her? What's she up to? Are there like different social media things coming up? Are you going to be hosting events? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm as always, I have a show every Sunday night at the Ritz in Hell's Kitchen that I host with Octavia Anye. So I have that every week. I have started working more with Paradise Nightclub in Asbury Park, bringing some Top Hat Productions to the main stage. So it's a production company that I started years ago, and I got to bring it back this past December, doing The Nightmare Before Dragmas, which was a drag retelling of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, but kind of is not really a theme night per se. Because instead of me kind of talking on the mic and hosting in between, I was reading the poem by Tim Burton. And through the poem, performers would come out and do the songs from the film. And so I have a couple other ones that are in the works for spring, summer, and autumn. So be on the lookout for that. But then in March, I'm really excited. I get to bring back a show that is very near and dear to my heart. I started this show on a live stream, actually. Back during the quarantine, I started a show on a live stream. I was doing a show called Broadway Roulette, which I would just get on live with some musical theater drag queen, and we would go back and forth and just do musical song suggestions from the audience. And then when Headroom was open in Jersey City, I brought the show there, and so I was doing a live version of it. And so people would come and I would do an opening number, and then I would go, okay, pick a musical, pick a musical, any musical. And then like the DJ would pull up a song from it, and then I do the number for you. And so I'm super excited. I get to bring that show back in March at Paradise, March 16th. It's a Wednesday. I'm so excited. Because it's just a really fun, ridiculous time. I had a lot of great people that came to the show when I was doing it at Headroom. Because I would get a lot of regulars, and so they would throw me lovely curveballs to try to slip me up or whatever. But I thankfully have never dropped the ball. So I'm excited for that show, probably the most. Yeah, wow. There's that old logo.
Do you
I have a brand new logo. I should have sent it to you guys.
Do you have guests for that show?
No, not usually. It's just kind of me just going crazy. I remember Fifi Dubois actually at Headroom. I did the show because the show was at 4, and I finished around 7, and then she was there, and I finished the show, came back to the dressing room, and she came running up to me. She was like, "Were you doing that for 3 hours?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." She was like, "Did you take breaks?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "How do you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't think about it like that, you know." Like I just kind of
drag girl. That's what we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, I just kind of do it and just keep going. And I think it's very Jersey drag, you know, because I think Red Rome and I have talked about this a lot, you know, because I feel like Jersey drag back in the day used to be very like that classic pageant drag, you know, and that's kind of what we've been known for. But as generations have passed, it's kind of evolved itself into a set of ideals and a set of disciplines that come from pageantry, you know, how to handle yourself and all these things, but also just kind of like what, like you kind of learn to kind of do everything, you know, similar to like New York City girls. You know, New York City girls have to learn to do everything in a show. I think Jersey has an interesting challenge because so many of the venues have so many regulars at the bars. And so we have to be the ones that create new things all the time.
Yeah.
which like even having myself from experience working in the city, like I could do the same number every week because the audience changes every single time I'm there, you know? But in Jersey, I couldn't get away with that because the regulars will even call you out for it. Be like,
Yeah.
didn't you do that last week? And then they're like, yes.
No, that's definitely like the environment I grew up in. So
Yeah.
when I started 17 years ago, that's
1776 is when you started?
1776 is when I started my career.
She's older than America, everybody.
I started, well, I am indigenous, so I actually started before the white folk came in. But anyway, you're a wonder to be around. You have a fashion sense that is beyond what other people conceptualize in drag, and I'm just so honored to know you, and so grateful to have you as a friend and somebody that I can message and say, would you like to be on my show and talk about your style? And I really do adore you, and I think you are somebody that is taking the world by storm, one app at a time. And and on stage, if we had more stage experiences during COVID, that would even be more. So you are just a wonderful entertainer and performer, and just like a fierce fucking queen. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. And please know I send all the exact same sentiments back at you. I appreciate you a lot, and I'm grateful to know you.
Yeah,
I'm glad the times we get to share.
Set in her ways, but I do appreciate girls here and there, and you're one of them.
Thanks.
So, all right, Vivas, this is the incomparable, the beautiful, the talented, the hat wearing and fashion icon, Lady Celestina. I will see you backstage in a minute, my sister.
Yes.
Vivas, thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for sitting with us in the beginning of the show. We had some technical issues. As you know, we are a full virtual but live show, and not many girls can say that they are fully live. There's music playing. Work. I love it. I am so grateful for all of you, and I just want to say next week, again, I will be entering and competing in a pageant, so there will be another episode of Viva Entertainer. So we will see you in 2 weeks, and I'm actually going to tell you who that is because I have it ready for you. If my phone will allow me to, when you're in drag, your phone doesn't allow you to open it. After that, we will be interviewing the House of Taylor's drag father. So Trinity Taylor's drag dad. Bob Taylor will be with us on Viva Aaliyah, and I cannot wait to chat with him about the entire Taylor legacy and lineage. Until then, I love you. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. Please make sure that you treat people how you would want to be treated. It's an age-old saying, but it works still today. Please make sure that you're getting vaccinated, that you are getting those boosters, and that you are taking care of your health. If you're not feeling well, take a damn sick day. Your employer needs to deal with it in these times, but also take care of yourself mentally. These are times when we're all sitting here, and we're going through things, and we're feeling things because there's a lot going on in the world, and you deserve to be the best you possible. I love you all dearly. I will see you. I'm gonna do a little recording for you next week on my way to the club, or on the way to the pageant. So I will see you next week in one way or another. I love you dearly. You have stuck with me through 4 seasons, and we have more to come for you. And with that, Viva Aaliyah.
Viva Aaliyah. Viva Aaliyah.